What up, y'all? It is Jamba. And oh, look who it is. It's Jenner. What? This is like my fourth, or maybe I think it's like my third or fourth, probably my fourth Jenner reaction. Could be my fifth. Um, he got great titles, he's got great content. I disagree with some of this stuff, but I agree with a lot of the stuff that he says. Ugh, excuse me. Who had a chocolate muffin earlier, gluten-free. Um, tasty. So why dating today is nearly impossible. Timely, especially for somebody like me. Um, before I even say anything about my personal life, let's start this video. We're in for a good one. I think we're in for a good one. I could be wrong though.
Dating is such a biatch in today's world, man. It's nearly impossible for normal young guys, for normal young girls. It's become really difficult to find a partner. A lot of people are not dating at all.
Now you're talking about for young people. Yeah, I can only imagine what it's like for young people. It was a little bit easier for me when I was young, even though I was terrible at it. Like it's gotten harder for me now. you know, it's so. But yeah, I would assume that today. I'm not sure if it's because I'm older or whatever, but yeah, for if you're a young man, if you're a man in your early 20s and you're just a normal guy, ooh boy. And for women, I'm pretty sure in different ways, it's probably not great for you as well.
A lot of people are dating and feel dissatisfied with the outcome. And I think that as far
Did you put Shrek as a match? Oh boy.
as like technology and like access goes, we've never had it better. From the outside looking in, people would say you've got all these options through dating apps,
Ooh.
through different ways of meeting people. But it's one of those things that I think that like it's an outcome that could not have been predicted by most people. But
That I would agree with. Yeah, no, you would. I think because people just had a fundamental misunderstanding of how men and women dynamics kind of work, and I think yeah, the people who made these apps and stuff like that, they made a pretty big miscalculation. Or maybe maybe they wanted it to be this bad. I don't know. Maybe the powers that be, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think. I think that when people created the apps and the social media and all that, I don't think they quite knew what they were doing.
but more options is not actually a good thing, because what you really have is the illusion of options, especially with like dating apps and stuff like that.
And not just that, but the paradox of choice. You Google that.
You don't actually have all the options that you think you have, especially, at least like in my opinion, women don't have all the options that they think.
Men don't think they have options like that most of the time. Now, when you're on an app, it may seem like these are put when you're swiping and shit, and you're like, oh dang, she look good. Swipe, swipe. Like that you think that the more women that you swipe on, the higher the chance of some it's kind of like the saying, so somebody has to like you. Well, what if no one likes you? And that's where a lot of men are finding themselves. A lot of men are swiping their fucking they're swiping their fucking fingers to the bone, and they're still not getting anything. How do I know? Well, let's just say I know a friend, me, and he's had that experience, and it's a lot. Like most dudes, and most dudes will tell you that they do not get shit on any of the dating apps. Most guys would say, if most guys are honest, and it's going to be hard for them to be because they don't want to come across as like a loser. But I'm a guy on the internet, so I don't really give a shit. They'll tell you that they barely get matches.
I think they have. There's a lot of guys that will sleep with women and have sex with women that will not date those same women.
Yeah. And those guys who sleep with those women know it, and the women that those guys sleep with, even though they may not want to admit to it, they also know it.
And with the death of religion and monogamy and a movement towards more like secular, go
Got to mention Christianity in 5, 4, 3, 2.
have fun, polygamy, hypergamy. There's been a push towards that. If you can't see that, then you're, blind.
Oh, the ad.
Elizabeth Danvers, Chief of Venice Police. I'm working on this case.
All right.
With that movement has also come girls kind of starting to think that they're on a level that they're realistically not, where they can have sex with a really good looking dude, start kind of thinking, okay, these are the type of guys that I should date. But those same guys won't date that girl. They
Yeah, and it sucks because because look, ladies, if you are, I'm not going to, if you want to get that 6'4" entrepreneur who used to hoop overseas and he got these tattoos and he got the dreadlocks. If you think that you should have that guy because she slept with you on a Tuesday afternoon without buying you a jumbo jack, if you think that's the guy that you're entitled to, then or not, I shouldn't say entitled to. If you think that guy is on your level, I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I guess I am, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, most guys, I mean, because we've heard guys say, people say that guys they shoot out of their league and all this other stuff, right? And you can look at guys following IG models and say, see, but most guys don't think they're gonna necessarily get an IG model. Now, I'm not gonna say that most girls think they're gonna get themselves a male model, but there are far more women that I've come across who has dated. I'm saying dated loosely because we know what dating means. Who's dated a pro athlete or a person who was a famous person, then I've met men who's dated women or dated women who are famous. Like I've even if I met even like my friends who get a lot of women, if they slept with a rapper or somebody like a TikTok star or somebody who's like famous, relatively speaking, or whatever, then I'll be like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know you slept with so and so who was on that blah 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 blah. But when a woman says it, it's just that's I just think a lot more common. So it just kind of goes with what he's saying.
are just going to sleep with that girl and then move on and eventually date a girl that's extremely attractive and successful, that's actually kind of on their level. So I think that, this movement towards liberalism and feminism, it's made dating a lot harder because it's muddied the water on who are realistically your potential long-term partners.
Yeah, look, man, I think it's as simple as like if you're a dude who I don't want to use me as an example, shit. Is it really that hard to assess who's on your quote unquote level? I think for men, we know who's quote unquote on our level because it's just the women who we're able to get. But the problem is that if you are like if you're a guy and you are not me, because I don't think I'm in good shape. I think I'm in decent shape. I'm skinny though. But if you're a dude and you are like in good shape, muscles, takes care of himself, X, Y, and Z. I think if a woman who's on his level should at least be in okay shape, not out of shape. I think that it's silly to say that that man who is in really great shape, if he's out there struggling dating, is because he's not dealing with women who are out of shape who might be into him. And I think we can we can look at it vice versa. If we're talking about a woman who is in really great shape, it will be weird for any man to be like, see, the reason why you out here struggling is because you're not dating these out of shape brothers over here with the pot bellies and shit. I think that's strange. I don't. So if you were to flip it, I think it's a messed up expectation for men who may say, hey, I do. I mean, I take care of myself. I want a woman who's at least on a similar level to me. Why would that be an issue? So, but we got more video left, y'all.
Who are we actually compatible with and on an equal attractive level with?
They keep showing Wonder Woman and Superman.
It's sad because dating is a great thing. I've been very lucky. I've dated some great.
Well, you are a good-looking white dude, so you actually have good-looking white dudes. And when I'm saying good-looking white dude, I'm saying like a guy who is like has like an okay like a decent face or whatever, and like just looks like a good-looking white dude. You know, they have the most options. So yeah, dating is pretty. Black dudes don't take dating advice from good-looking white dudes. because their advice is not going to work for you. You need to take advice from other black men, preferably other black men who fit a closer aesthetic than you. Don't take advice from fucking me. But I guess this is advice, but just white guy advice is not going to work for Negroes. So I don't know why I said Negroes.
Great women. I've had three relationships in my life. I'm 24 years old, and I feel very blessed to have that experience because you learn so much about
White guys, y'all got it easy because if y'all can't get y'all women, y'all can just get Asian women. They're like y'all safety net. Yeah, I said it.
the other gender. I grew up with three older brothers, so like I didn't really know that much about women, and I feel like I now have a pretty good idea of what female nature and what relationships look like. I'm also a Christian, so I've been very lucky to
Yeah, got that Christianity. Yeah, about 2 minutes in. There you go.
be with religious women. I think that makes a big difference as far as like the goals and the standards and what sort of content women are consuming, stuff like that. I'd highly recommend you be careful about spending too much time and trying to date women that are being highly propagandized by different sort of media, different podcasts. You can learn a lot.
I think, yeah, I think overall, just, and I'm not saying, look, I actually like women who have opinions and women who have different points of view and stuff like that, right? But when a woman makes that like her main character trait, yeah, fellas, I don't think you should be involved in that, regardless of what it is, whether they fit your political ideology or not, right? I think that could be annoying. I think I No, I want to talk about regular shit. I want to. I don't. It doesn't have to be about what so and so this political person, this candidate is doing, or what I don't. Now there are causes like what's going on in God. Like if a woman is like concerned about those types of things, like what's happening in the Middle East with Gaza and all this other stuff, I think that's different because that's coming from a place of empathy. Whereas all of that other stuff, all that like all that, like nah. Not saying that you can't be informed and we can't have those conversations, but some of y'all, men too, y'all make that your number one personality trait, and that's off putting, regardless of who does that.
About a woman with the podcast and TV shows that she consumes on a daily basis. I'm kind of going off topic now, but I'm assuming I'm talking to a younger guy. It's kind of my target
Nah, you talking to an older guy. I'm not your demographic. I'm close to it 'cause I am Christian. I'm a dude, but I'm not white and I'm not young. So I'm about halfway there.
audience as a guy. And I just want to tell you, like, it's not just you. Dating is really difficult. And it hasn't been like this historically because historically,
People didn't date like we do historically, because how we date now is stupid, because we date isolated, and we usually back in the day had your family involved and other people who loved you involved, and in picking a life partner wasn't just a decision that you made in isolation. It was a decision that you made, sure, but people, it was just more of a community thing. So people were held accountable. Men just didn't feel like they could just take advantage of women, and they could lie to women, and they could just sleep with women and not have any repercussions. And you had women who also were held accountable as well. So things, dating was just a lot less complicated and a lot less shallow, and a little bit more. I mean, sure, like some stuff, like relationships maybe didn't work out in some cases, but it was just a lot less. This mate selection thing was a lot less complicated.
our parents' generation, they didn't have the illusion of options that we've been given. They went to high school, they went to college, they met people, they went
Yeah, my dad, and I said this in the previous channel. My dad and my mom met in college.
out, they hung out, they did different things, and they just kind of like met people through different friend groups. They had different relationship dynamics, but for the most part, everybody kind of had a general idea of here are the people who I could realistically potentially date. And when a guy
Could you imagine, fellas, if okay, fellas, imagine this world. Imagine you meet a woman, whether it's at an event or at the flower shop, I don't know, wherever on the street. Imagine you meet this woman and she didn't have social media, and the only men who she was interacting with on a possible romantic basis was just the men who she met in reality. Wouldn't that be cool if they only dealt with the men who they for the most part saw in person? You know what I'm saying? Like that, man. Yeah, yeah. Our fathers did have a lot easier. And when I'm saying easier, people, I'm not saying like, oh, because you can like sleep with her easier. More so, just the because as a man, you do feel very fucking expendable after a certain point. After a certain point, it's and some of y'all fellas like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not talking about you. Some of the guys who know what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. It's like after a certain point where you're kind of talking and even if you kind of start to get a girl's number or her IG, 9 times out of 10 that shit gets lost in the shuffle because you kind of get lost among the sea of other suitors or possible suitors or guys who want to be her suitors. So it's things are just not, you wish you could just deal with people in that moment, and then you leave a number, you might call, but once you leave, it's like now you just you get her contact information, you become part of this worldwide database. If and most women, let's be honest, most women are active on social media. Not saying it's wrong, but it does affect things. We are 3 minutes and 29 seconds into this 9 minute long video.
Makes a move. Maybe we'll go out for a date. We'll do this and that. And everybody kind of had a long-term goal of like, eventually we're going to get married and probably want to have kids and a
Married.
family one day. And also, you had this idea that sex maybe it wasn't something like religious or like super holy or anything like that. But even back then, I think that people took it seriously. I think that there was an idea that, hey, this is
Not take that shit seriously today. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
it's not something to be thrown around willy-nilly. They were kind of the first generation to have access to like, birth control on a wide scale and stuff like that. So it was still kind of new, like the idea you could have casual sex. Well, today it's become very normalized. It's very pushed on young.
There's points that I'm either going to say for the first time that I'm going to say again at some point, more than likely, or something I've already said that I'm going to say again. But I'm not sure if I've said this yet. The casual sex things is real, and it sucks because as a man, I'm not saying that all. Again, I'm talking generally, but yeah, like you in order to kind of get a relationship as a man, you kind of have to pass the sex test. Has anybody coined that, the sex test? Like you kind of, ladies, I'm just telling you like what it is. I mean, you can comment or we can talk about it, but we a lot of y'all are not gonna get with the being in a relationship with a man unless he's up to par in the bedroom department. We gotta just keep this a buck. So casual sex, unfortunately, has become a necessary part of the dating to marriage process because that is what the game that you guys presented, ladies. I'm not saying that men are not a part of that. These are thoughts and things. Like I said, we one day I'm going to kind of break this down a little bit more, like my philosophy on it. But yeah, casual sex, I mean, it's something that both men and women both play a part in, regardless if you think that it's good or bad. Do I think it's bad or good? I think it's obviously probably mostly bad overall. I see why people do it. I have partaken in it. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm better than people because I'm fucking not.
Women, I think specifically to go out and experience their sexual selves and, go have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. Sex is just something to be thrown around. This has long-term consequences. A lot of guys don't want to date girls that have long sexual histories and multiple bodies. It's important.
Well, shit, you ain't got a choice, motherfucker. Listen, some of y'all ain't got a choice. Some of y'all, the only woman who's gonna want to marry and be with your dumbass is gonna be a woman who's done had a past. So you better I'm just keep. So that's my whole thing about that whole shit. That's why I don't like even talking about that shit as a man, because most, and I'm not even trying to say that you as a man have to settle for it or just not care about it. If you care about it, you care about it. But I'm just about what the fucking reality of it is. So this guy being young, if he keeps on being single, he's eventually going to kind of get over that. And like with me, like I don't like, I'll be honest with you, would prefer, and I've only been on a date with one single mother, like an actual date. I'm friends with a few, or like a couple, but I don't want to date a single mother. But shit, if I'm still single when I'm fucking 38, let's just say 38, right? 6 years from now, if I'm 38 and I'm shit, I might that standard might loosen the fuck up. Nah, I don't want it to, but so my point is just that yes, ideally you have these things that you want, but as time progresses, your shit becomes a little bit more realistic for your age.
Important to us. So girls are kind of buying into this lie that guys don't really care, and a lot of guys won't really
I think most women know that men do care. Now, do they like the fact that men care? I don't think they like it, but I think they know it.
care as much as like, yeah, they'll sleep with you if you've had a sexual history, but they don't want to long-term settle down and marry a girl who's been going buck wild with their frat brothers or like different guys on campus or just guys in their past in general.
What bugged me the most about a woman who slept around on college at college, it stopped bugging me as much once I got out. But in college, it was because and when I say this shit, people, I'm not actually lying. Like I'm actually being like sometimes I'll say some throw numbers now, but I'm kind of not being for real. This is actually a for real number. Damn near 9 times out of 10 when I met a woman on campus back when I was hooping. Not gonna say where. Some of y'all know where. You can just fucking Google it. But 9 times out of 10, that woman who I was interested in had already slept with at least one, maybe even two of my teammates, and that fucking bugged the shit out of me. I hated that because back then I actually wanted a relationship like a dummy. You shouldn't probably look for a relationship in college. It was a stupid thing, but I just I didn't want multiple women. I just wanted one girl and just to be her boyfriend, and just the same shit that my fucking parents had. But didn't turn out that way. But my point was that bugged me, and it wasn't so much of the body thing. It was more of a I don't want to date this person and then guard the nigga, excuse my language, but whatever, and guard the dude in practice who she had slept with like a few months ago. For him to possibly use that, like, I did this with your girl, like, because people were talk shit, and that really it was not just that possibility. It just bothered me. That was a thing that really, really, like, I've actually like rejected a woman who was a pretty good friend of mine because of that, because great she was really like a great friend, and very attractive, but I couldn't handle that. I no, it was two of my teammates, like no. So now, do I still have that standard now? Kinda, I kind of do. Especially, yeah, people that I know, yeah, that bugs me. That bugs me.
even past boyfriends, stuff like that. They don't want to deal with that. And that whole shift in society has made dating, I think, a lot more difficult because I think the main thing I want to get across is there's a mass disconnect. There's this illusion of options. I think specifically on the female side, I'm not a misogynistic guy or anything, but I do think a lot of movements in society have given a lot of women this false idea that they are bound to end up with a guy who's damn near perfect, who's like 6 foot plus, makes six figures, 6 inches below the belt, all that stuff.
6 inches, more like shit, eight. Seven, six figures, shit, more like 6.5. I mean, some truth in this. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. Oh, I gotta charge my laptop. Let's continue.
And that's 666. That's a devil at work right there. But I just wanted to point that out. I think that there is a massive disconnect on who realistically is compatible with people. Not
I will say that it's true if you're on a dating app, then yeah, you have to be like a really, 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 really attractive dude. I mean, and it was so funny, because when the reason why one of the reasons why I clicked this title, why dating is nearly impossible. Yeah, this shit, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I've actually had professional photos done of myself earlier last year because I wasn't getting shit on Bumble. I was getting a few on Bumble, but you like as a dude, getting a match is different because you'll get a match and then it's like you need to have like 6 matches, or no, excuse me. You need to have like 10 matches to get like 1 or 2 numbers. And then out of those 2 numbers, maybe you can get one date. It's like a trickle down effect, right? It's like a upside down pyramid. But because my Bumble wasn't popping, I had a coworker of mine. I might have told you a story. I had a coworker of mine tell me, "Hey, you should get some. You see, that's your problem. You got old photos of yourself." So my dumbass got some new photos of myself in 3 outfits, and I posted them. And sure, some of them look decent, whatever. And I got maybe a. It didn't fucking help. And I told my sister the same story, and she was like, "Well, that's because men, y'all, it's all about the male gaze, and you should have got a female photographer." I'm like, I did have a female photographer, so yeah. So just if you're talking about on a dating app, yeah, I think I think it is actually impossible for a lot of y'all, including me. Now, in general, out in the real world, even though I think online is a part of the real world because people in the real world engage online probably more so than they engage offline. It's a little bit not. I'm not gonna say easier, but it's not quite as black and white. Like if you're a dude and you're an average looking dude and you see an attractive woman at Walmart, you can go up and actually talk to that woman in real time, as opposed to online where she might see your message, but it's buried under dozens and dozens and dozens of other messages. So you're right there, you can talk to her. Now, is the chance likely of her giving you her number? Probably like 0.1%, maybe a percent chance, depending on how hard you charm her. And then after that point, if you do get her number, what are the chances of her actually talking to you? Like, so you see, like, it's a whole fucking thing, ladies. Like, it's real bad. Like, people, if you watching this and you're people, and I got 4 minutes left of this video. This is gonna be a long one. How fuck 27 minutes? Okay, whatever. This will be a long one. Where am I? Okay, fellas, if you've been in a relationship for more than 2 years, or if you've been married for more than 2 to 3 years, if you've been in a relationship for a while, whether it's a relationship or marriage, you have no idea how bad it is. You actually have you may have an idea, but you actually don't know. You actually don't know, and it could be because I'm in Southern California. That could be part of it. So this could be because I've heard this is like one of the worst places. So I'll keep that in mind. But I don't think it's that much different in other places as well. Like I heard it's horrible in Toronto as well, and all this other stuff. But it's pretty damn bad. So I don't know where this guy lives, but he's wherever he is. Even he's like in a horrible freeze frame. Let me keep playing.
Now, there's also one other thing I want to touch on, that's social
What's up?
media. I think it's become a lot more difficult for people to move on from past relationships because you can kind of artificially keep in touch with people through social media. And that's something
Keep in touch with a whole lot of people through social media.
that even I've experienced. Like, I've kind of had to realize once I break up with a girl or like move on from a relationship, if I'm consistently seeing that woman on social media and kind of
Hard for you to move on. There was a point in time where I wasn't in a relationship at this time, but in the 90s and prior, where if you broke up with a woman and she was done with you and she left or whatever, it's like you didn't see that woman, and that was it. So yeah, it was hard. 100% had to have been super hard back then. It just like it is hard now, but with now today, you break up with a woman, you could still, unless she blocks you, you can still see her on. If you got a ghost account or something like that. So yeah, this is a point that I didn't really consider.
keeping up with her and her family, it's damn near impossible to completely move on. And you can't really open yourself up to a new relationship until you've moved on. Like, you have to put what's in the past. And I think it's really difficult for both guys and girls. I think everybody struggles to
Absolutely,
really put
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
a relationship in the past now because you're seeing their stories on Instagram and you're keeping up with their mom on Facebook, and you have them on Snapchat and you're seeing what they're doing and you see them out. Maybe you kind of have to move on as far as putting them in your past if you want to realistically have success in dating. And I think we've got a lot of people that are maybe going on dates here and there, but let's be honest, like they're still in love with their exes. They're still thinking about their ex.
I had that experience recently, and even yeah, sucks. Especially as a man, because as a man, you get a date, especially nowadays. If you get a date, now I wouldn't do this now, but back when you get as a man, you get a date. She good looking. You vacuum out your car, you wash your car, you get your fresh lineup and but you get your fresh lineup and shit. You know what I'm saying? You get a haircut, get your nice fit on, get your nice jeans on. One is you only got two good pairs of jeans. You put one of your good pairs of jeans on and shit. Get your jacket. You know what I'm saying? You vacuum out your car, make sure that you floss. You feel me? You floss. Get all the shit, get all the popcorn out of your teeth and shit. You do some push-ups, do some squats, get the heart rate up, take a good shower, lather. If you think you're gonna get lucky, you shave down there, you know what I'm saying? Be sure not to nick your balls. Look at yourself in the mirror, spray, you know what I'm saying? Get your fit on, you get good to go. Check your phone. I'm on my way. You look at the map, you about 35 minutes away. Okay, cool. And then the restaurant is about 25 minutes. Okay. Then, fellas, tell me if I'm wrong. Look, you got to put on something in the car that fits you, but you either know that she will like. Maybe it's something that y'all talked about. Like I like putting on Gold Link. That was my go-to was Gold Link. I like Gold because I don't really watch and listen to a lot of new shit, but I'll put on some Gold Link. Right. So put some Gold Link on. And you get to her place. I don't know why I'm doing all this, but what was the point? Oh, my point was just like you do all this stuff and you go all out, you have a good time just for her to still be thinking about, her ex that she was with for, 2 or 3 years that she just, is so sucks.
Ex. They don't want to really actually have a relationship in the near future. They're just kind of playing this pretend role and they're thinking about their ex at the end of the day. And it's
And sometimes you're used as a vehicle to get over their ex.
sad because
This is something that both men and women do as well, unfortunately. You know, and it's a lot of times women will after the relationship they'll sleep with a few men to kind of get over it, and men will do a similar thing, except for it takes us a little bit longer to sleep with y'all. A woman can get on Tinder and be like, I want some dick. Hey, me, I'm here. I got a dick. But guys, we can't be like, I got a dick. Who wants it? It's not going to work out for them.
because as humans, we're not meant to be so lonely. We need to all, I think this is just a shout out to whoever's watching this video.
I'm watching.
I'm also just kind of talking to myself here.
Oh no, look, wait, hey. I'm here, and guess what? The people watching me are also here. So you got me watching, you got this whoever is watching me watching, and maybe they might share it to somebody else. You got 1,660 subscribers, Jenner. You got people who are listening, man. I'm listening. I'm here, bro. I'm listening.
It's not realistic to look through the lens of like traditional media and these movies that we grew up on and these books that we read and stuff like that. Life is not a fucking fairy tale, and love is not supposed to complete your life in this incredible way. It's fun.
Nah, man. If you're looking for love to complete your life, I got a bridge to sell you. Is that the term? I never understood it, but no, it shouldn't.
Sometimes to watch a good love story or read poetry. I took a class in college and I read about this dude who had this quote: if nothing could save us from death, at least love could save us from life. And that's a beautiful thing to read. When you read that, you're like, wow, like that's such an incredible thing. But let's be honest. What
That poem even, what does that even mean? Love can what? Yeah, sometimes
is love? What is realistically what you want out of a long term relationship and marriage? I think what we all want is commitment, compassion, someone to do life together with, someone to laugh with, someone that you can have a realistically successful and happy.
stop the cat. The first thing that men want from a relationship is the first thing that I'm not gonna say that you're thinking about, but biologically, you want sex from that individual. You want somebody, you're attracted to that person and you want to engage with them in a sexual manner. And to make that more um, to make that mean something, you want her to also be loyal and to also be kind and to also be funny and to also be smart and to have hobbies and do stuff together in order to make the sex mean something besides it just being sex. It's like a hamburger, right? Yeah, you want the meat. The meat is the center of the hamburger. That it is like you can't have a good hamburger and the meat is fucked up. Or if the meat isn't cooked, you're gonna get sick. So the meat, the sex isn't is the centerpiece of it. But if it's just the meat, then it's just meat. But you put it on a bun, which is loyalty. You put the cheese on it, which is, the humor and the sense of humor is aligning. You put some lettuce on it, which is the fun things that y'all do together or whatever. You put some tomatoes on it, meaning like maybe you guys have like a secret language or your love languages and stuff. I'm literally making this shit up on the fly. The point of the matter is that the sex is really, you want, just like when you order a burger, you want the meat. You want that meat, but you want the meat to be in a packaged in a way where it means something. So we eat the whole thing. Mm, this is good, right? This is a really good relationship burger. That's what we want.
Happy sex life with, and someone that you truly admire and can build a family with. That's what you should be looking for. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be looking for somebody that's gonna fill every crevice you have like a puzzle piece that was just made for you. Shit's cringy, shit's whack. Just find a good person. Don't hype up your standards so much to a point where you have to over romanticize stuff. That's a problem in itself. The romanticizing that people do of love, life is kind of it's a struggle. It's not always fun. It's not always easy, and I think what you realistically probably want is just a good person that's going to be able to walk through life with you.
You want a good person who is genuinely into you and isn't afraid to to get their hands dirty with you. I'm speaking from POV as a man, because and maybe that's kind of where I'm at. Um, because what good is your friendship or what's good is your partnership if you're only around for when things are good, or if you're only around when I'm on the up? That's where I'm at personally, and I think a lot of men can see where I'm coming from. Um, there's a philosophy that, as a man, you do the hard stuff, you be successful, and then the women come later. But I think that after that point, I don't know. I mean, and I know ladies kind of want something similar. I mean, we all want somebody who cares about us and all that. But for men, it's a little bit. I think it's just a little bit sort of different, because your success in life can literally kind of sort of can often reflect or can often affect their circumstances when it comes to dating. Whereas I think with women, it's a little bit, it's less so. That I probably have said that in the previous video.
You, um, so try to find that, and that's a little call to action. Don't be looking for your perfect woman, or if you're a girl,
Men are not looking for, I don't, who is looking for their perfect woman at this point as a man? If you can't even get, if you write down what you want in a perfect woman and you can't even get half of those things to even look in your direction, then why, like, that's, trust me, most men are not looking for their perfect woman.
watching this video, I don't think that you are, but if you made it this far as a woman, don't be looking for your knight in shining armor. Just be looking for a good partner, because dating today is already hard enough, and you don't need to make it harder by setting your standards insanely high and going in with all these insane expectations. Um, Life is not a good thing to do alone. That is just accepting defeat. Trust me. I don't care how Sigma or solo you think you are. A life alone is a brutal life. You don't want that. Like, trust me, you just
Life alone is a brutal life. However, what some people might say is, and even some men and women might say, is that a life with somebody who you're married to, who you don't belong with, who makes you feel lonely, is a lot worse than you being by yourself. So we also got to be careful of that. And I think that to a lot of women's point, they're trying to be careful as not to be with somebody to where they will feel a lot worse than being alone. Because sure, not everyone wants to be alone, but there are people, like there's some, like, I'll be honest with you, I know that there's been women that I've dated to where I'm like, shit, if I'm glad that shit didn't work out, because if I dated this person and they were just fucking around me after knowing how they were, man, that shit would be horrible. And it's more, and that's more the case. And a lot of women would tell, it's like they would rather be alone than be with a dude who they have that feeling about, which to me is understandable.
you don't want that. And on that note, like this
Oh,
video, share this.
okay. I liked it already, Jenner. I'm gonna wrap this up. How much time? Oh shit, 40 minutes. I gotta eat, y'all. I gotta eat. So please like and like my video, like his video, but like my video. And if you subscribed already, please subscribe if you haven't. And I'll be back once again with another video.